Hello, someone who just joined me. I'm waiting till 12:03 about to get started, and then this video will be recorded for anybody who wants to watch it later. All right, we are going to get started with this, and then if I have viewers later, I will go ahead and interact with you guys. So today is Monday, the 23rd of March, and I'm going to briefly go over our topic for today. First, I'm going to introduce myself. So I am Shawna Norton. I am currently the manager at CrossFit Humanity and a CrossFit coach. I am also a certified health coach and a certified nutrition coach. The reason that I started nutrition coaching is because I wanted to help people with the same struggles that I had. And I realized there was an easier, better way to do things. And coaching is a huge part of that. Having a coach, for anyone who's had one, be it a CrossFit coach or a personal trainer or a nutrition coach, having a coach is amazing, just because it helps you with that support and accountability. So today we are going to talk about your habits. Last week was probably a shit show for a lot of us. We ended up stocking up on ice cream. I had a bunch of people point out they went to the grocery stores and all the ice cream was gone. And who can blame people? It's stressful right now, and food is comfort. So we kind of settled in. We still have there's a great big level of uncertainty, but we can figure out our systems throughout that uncertainty. We can build our foundation so that when uncertainty happens or as things continue to change, that foundation is still there. So like anything in life, nutrition is all about habits. The people that you see that you might consider successful are those individuals who have a solid foundation for their eating habits. They eat their vegetables. I know a lot of my clients love to eat vegetables, but I'm sorry, it's a thing that you need to do. So they eat their vegetables, they eat their fruits, they eat a consistent amount of protein, and then they might manage their other parts of their eating, such as they may have structured snack times. They may have go-to snacks that they use. They have, planned out meal plans, that kind of thing. Those habits are what are going to make or break your goals. So if you're someone who, say, wants to lose weight, if you you have this diet cycle pattern that you get into where every week you say, I'm going to be perfect and I'm going to start with all of these things, and then by the end of the week you're exhausted, you haven't really created a solid foundation and you don't have solid habits. So life gets in the way and then everything goes to crap. So what we're going to talk about today is how do you build those reliable habits to set you up for success. You know what you're supposed to do. I have worked now with probably at least 100 people in the last 3 years, and everyone knows, they sit down and they tell me what they're supposed to do. They know they're supposed to eat their vegetables. They know they're supposed to eat a certain amount of protein. They know they're not supposed to snack or eat bad foods. They know they're supposed to eat throughout the day, right? But we all know that what you're supposed to do and what actually happens are most often two different things. It's why this industry is so big, the health and fitness industry. It's why I have a job, because connecting what you're supposed to do and what actually happened to make it come into fruition is something that's very challenging. So I would challenge you right now to first think about, what does a perfect day look like eating wise? And when I ask you that, is your default a perfect day being something like, I eat celery for breakfast and I eat lettuce for lunch and I eat chicken breast and more celery for dinner? And then I want to challenge you, when you've created that perfect day, to look at it and say, is that realistic? Because I find that a lot of people, they think what they're supposed to do is starve themselves so that their body will lose weight. So they set themselves up for this perfect iteration. And then, like I was mentioning earlier, they go to shit throughout the week, right? So you have this perfect plan that is essentially starve yourself and make yourself miserable because you know you're supposed to lose weight. And then come Friday, you're starving, you're miserable, and your body really needs food and you haven't given it much of anything. And so the weekend happens and you stock up on all the stuff that you didn't let yourself have throughout the week. So what I do with my clients is we discuss this perfect day, and then I say, okay, let's take that perfect day and let's talk about what's actually realistic for you. Like I was saying, so many of us have created this plan, but we don't take into account lunches with coworkers and your kid being home from school sick and not being able to get home in a timely manner for dinner. Or, I just talked to one of my nutrition coaching clients. It's working from home. One would think that working from home, you should be able to manage your nutrition super easy. But she just had a meeting scheduled in her lunch break and she's working from home. So we have to recognize that life happens. And it's one of the most frustrating things, because you have this perfect plan and then all of a sudden life happens and you don't have that foundation. So then you just say, screw it. I can't say the F word because that's my favorite word. And that's really what you want to say, is just F it. And then you're eating out, you're going to a fast food restaurant, you're eating the bag of chips that you had hidden in the back cupboard, eating Girl Scout cookies right now, right? And then you feel horrible. And then you maybe reset tomorrow, or a lot of us just say, F it, this is how I'm going to be, and just stay, overweight and unhappy. So it's very uncomfortable to acknowledge that you can't have your weight loss happen by tomorrow or by next Tuesday. It is exactly like getting out of debt. If you're in $100,000 worth of debt, you're not going to be out of debt unless you win the lottery by next week, right? So what I ask all of my clients to do is sit down and say, let's build out a plan, not for 2 weeks, not for 2 months, but let's plan out what it's going to look like over the next 6 months or over the next year. And let's acknowledge that if we invest that time over 6 months or a year, we have the opportunity to slowly build this foundation, slowly get these systems and habits in place, and then we never have to be back here again. When life happens, I have that plan in place that I can rely on. I have a client of mine who I'm super, super proud of. She is deploying today to go on the Mercy, and we've worked so hard on her nutrition over the past 6 months that when she and I talked this morning, I'm not worried about her. I know that she is going to crush her nutrition while she is on this ship because we've worked our butts off to create the solid foundation. She knows how to eat when she's going through the mess line in the chow hall or whatever they say for them. So she has this foundation. She's not going to gain weight back. And not only that, what's super cool, she's going to be able to be an example to all the people around her of how one can manage their nutrition when their circumstances have changed, especially when you feel out of control, because you're in the military, you know, a lot of times you feel like you're kind of a pawn in another person's game and you don't have control over your situation, but you always have control over what you put in your mouth, always, unless you're like, you know, someone like you're a prisoner or something. You always have control over what you put in your mouth or what you don't put in your mouth. Okay, so own that moment, own the reality that you have to stop trying to diet, and you have to be aware of where you are now and what can you do to create a plan and habits going forward so that you never have to be here again. And then, that being said, how do you create those habits and where do you start? My most favorite place for people to start is just with a template of their daily life. So I always sit down with people and I ask them, give me a day. Tell me what time you wake up. Tell me what time you go to work. Tell me what time you eat lunch. Tell me what time you come home. Tell me what time you're training or fitnessing. Tell me what time you're going to bed. Get all of that laid out. And then I ask them currently how you're eating. And I look at it, and it's so much easier for me to take someone's current plan and make minor tweaks than it is to say, okay, you're doing this all wrong, and start them on a whole new plan. Why? Because they already have habits. They already have the habit of having a Nutri-Grain bar with their coffee on the way to work. They have a habit of going to the deli in their office to get lunch. They have a habit of having that banana before they fitness, right? So how can I take those things and tweak them to set them up for nutritional success throughout the week? I might look at their breakfast and say, I want you to have I want you to have a denser breakfast. You know, how can I get you, you need to travel, you need to eat your breakfast while you're traveling. So what can I give you to make it easy to travel? Can we do a breakfast burrito and get you some egg whites and some peppers? Love to try to sneak in veggies for people. Can we get you for lunch? You're going to the deli. Cool, that's totally okay. So instead of choosing the pasta and meatballs, can we get you to choose the chicken salad, and then you can have maybe a biscotti with it, and that's your treat? Can we get you on your way home? Can we get you a snack in your car while you're driving so that when you get home, you're not famished and you can sit down and figure out a solid plan for dinner? Nutrition is the easiest and the most complicated thing on the planet. And I struggle with it. Everybody struggles with it because we have so many options to spend money and to choose bad things. And we have so many options to be derailed that it can be super, super hard to figure out a system that works for you. Hello, if you're just joining, and I'll take a brief intermission. If you guys have questions about this, feel free. There are only a handful of people on here, so I can totally answer your guys' questions. If not, I'm going to just keep going and pick up where I left off, but feel free. There's comment section down below. I can see your guys' comments, and I can help you if you're struggling right now with what your systems need to look like in the next week to month, depending on how long we're homebound. I can help you build those systems. So how do we build that foundation? What habits do we have to have in place? I am totally okay with if you guys don't want to eat until noontime and then you want to eat all of your food between noontime and 5 p.m. I'm okay if you want to eat all of your food at 8 p.m. I'm okay if you don't want to eat breakfast. There are very few rules that you truly have to follow. What are those rules? You need to eat your vegetables. You need to have 3 to 5 servings, yay, of vegetables a day. I don't care how you get those vegetables in. If you have to hide them in pasta, put them on pizza, put them on a burger. If you need to cook them in something, if you need to put them with eggs, it's okay. You do not have to eat steamed broccoli and peas. You can find ways to get your veggies in a delicious manner that you enjoy. But you gotta eat your veggies. One of the main components of nutrition coaching is addressing nutrient deficiencies. We have a lot of clients that come to us because they've been struggling with dieting, because they have spent a lot of time in these low calorie, high calorie cycles that their body I can't talk. Their bodies are not getting the nutrients they need. So getting fruits and vegetables every single day is critical. 3 to 5 servings of veggies, however you want to get them. You need to be getting, I would like you to be getting 1 to 2 servings of fresh fruit a day. I would like you to avoid cantaloupe, grapes, things that are super, super high in fructose, because most people, those tend to be the least nutrient dense, and most people eat those because they're mild fruits. I would love it if you challenged yourself to introduce some different fruits. Kiwi, pineapple, mango, cranberries. Cranberries are a fruit. What other fun fruits are there? Even bananas. I am a huge proponent of people eating bananas. They don't make you fat. Bananas don't make you fat, team. Okay, so 3 to 5 servings of fruit, vegetables, 1 to 2 servings of fruit, and then protein. So I have a kind of default suggestion for my nutrition coaching clients when they go out to eat, but this is sort of how I want you guys to eat. At least 3 meals a day. I want you to pick your veggies and your protein first. If you're a vegetarian, it makes it a little bit more challenging, but you still have lots of options. Tofu, beans, sprouts, quinoa has a good amount of protein in it. But if you're, I'm going to address my meat eaters. 3 meals a day, I want you to be eating, wow, it's really hard to make a flat hand on TV. I want you to be making a palm-size serving, getting a palm-size serving of protein minimum at every meal. For men, I'd like you to be getting 2 palm-size servings of protein at every meal. So 3 meals, at least a palm size of protein. And then for your carbohydrates, yes, you're allowed to eat carbs. Carbs don't make you fat. Inactivity, lack of sleep, and overeating the wrong foods make you fat. And by wrong foods, I don't mean bananas or even pasta. I mean, what's a wrong fruit or wrong food? Something that is made in a laboratory that has minimum to no nutrients to it. So Kit Kats are not something that I'm going to be a proponent of you eating on the regular. A really great bar of dark chocolate, have a couple pieces, but things that are designed for you to get hooked on and eat a plethora of, those are the things I'm gonna say are wrong foods. And I want you to use those only for very special occasions like Halloween, things like that, Christmas. Otherwise, I'm not opposed to anybody having ice cream or cake or chocolate. I just want you to manage that intake, and I want you to be aware of why you're eating it, and I want you to think about, does this food have nutrients to it? Dark chocolate, a 70% dark chocolate, a couple pieces of that has a ton of antioxidants. It's really good for you. 5 Kit Kats, not so much. Okay, I digressed a little bit. So what is the foundation? Foundation is 3 to 5 servings of vegetables, 1 to 2 servings of fruit, and a minimum of a palm size thing of protein, and then a fistful or cup. Maybe this hand's easier. Nope, they're both hard to do. I don't have very good mobility, apparently. A cup or a scoop of carbs, 3 meals a day. So you look at your hand and you're like, oh, I made this little cup. That's going to be about a cup of carbs. It's going to be about 40 to 60 grams cooked. I want that three times a day. And then we can make adjustments to it. That's your foundation. That's what you're supposed to do. And then from there, we tweak things. We figure out what your snacks need to look like, how to get additional protein throughout the day if you're not so great about getting protein now. But you start there. You start with those 3 meals. And how do I get those 3 meals consistently? And like I said, if you have to eat them, if you have to eat all that food at 8 p.m., it's not going to happen, because now you're eating 3 to 5 servings of vegetables at 8 p.m. You're not going to want to do that, right? So that's actually going to help you manage to eat consistently throughout the day, because those vegetables are critical. So, but maybe you want to take most of your protein and eat it at night. You can switch it up a little bit. But if you build that foundation with your veggies, your fruits, your protein, and then your carbohydrate sources, you eat that consistently. First off, you're going to start losing weight if you're overweight, just because you're paying attention to what you should be eating, and because you're getting more nutrient dense foods. Your body feels better. And then from there, you can figure out, you start to make tweaks. And you know, your snacking is more controlled because you're getting nutrient dense foods, and your body is not in a deficient state, so it feels good. And then you're just mindful of what else you're doing. And that mindfulness, the reason that macros and keto and fasting and all of that worked for people is just because it provides mindfulness to what they're doing. It's not because, aside from keto, true keto, none of those diets work because of the diet. They work because it makes people pay attention to what they're eating. And oftentimes, things like vegetarianism, it eliminates food sources that are super, super high in fat, low in nutrients, and people tend to eat too much of them. So you go vegetarian, you're eating a ton of vegetables, you're not eating at Chick-fil-A anymore, right? So it helps you balance that. Okay, so that is it for today. I didn't want to make this super long. I wanted to try to stay under 30 minutes if I could, because there's a lot of information. We will be hosting these every, I don't know what today is, every Monday at 12 p.m. And I'm going to go over something like this every single day. I am totally open for requests, things that people are struggling with. I know we are putting it at 12 p.m. because it's kind of people's lunchtime on the Pacific side. On the West Coast. So if y'all have something you want to address, something you're struggling with right now, you can email me. My email is shawna@crossfithumanity.com. You can comment here. You can comment after the fact. If you're a Humanity member, you can message me. You can post on the Insiders page. But I would love to know what your struggles are right now and what I can do to help you with this. Yeah, so I hope this starts your Monday off on the right note. And like I said, just eat your damn veggies. We start there and stop the diet cycle. Stop trying to do everything all at once. Let's build that awesome foundation. And then we go along, we just build on that foundation. And the next thing you know, you're at your goal weight, you're feeling amazing, and the nutrition thing is easier overall. All right, team, thank you for watching. I hope you guys are having a great day so far. I will see you mañana at 12 o'clock.